Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Daily Debate. My name is Ahmed Nader, and tonight we'll be focusing on the efforts of the political leadership under the tenure of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli to be giving the youth of Egypt, the young men and the young women of the country, more opportunities to be their own bosses as they are opening new opportunities to be having more entrepreneurs in the country, to be having more SMEs in the country with, of course, more funds and finance in the upcoming few months and years. The political leadership's intention to be having more entrepreneurs in the country was evident in the past few months and under the tenure of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the past 6 or 7 years. But we'll be focusing as well as a top story for tonight, the presidential activities of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and it comes from France, as President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi began on Sunday a 2-day visit to France to take part in the Paris conference to support Sudan's transitional period and the summit to finance the African economies. The summits will be held on May the 17th and the 18th respectively. Presidential spokesman Bassem Radi said that President al-Sisi's visit comes at an invitation from the French counterpart Emmanuel Macron as an outcome for the growing bilateral ties between Cairo and Paris. Egypt also plays a vital role in supporting Sudan's transitional period on both the international and the domestic levels. Radi added that President al-Sisi intends to focus during the visit on the importance of an international concerted effort to support Sudan during such an important period of its history. The President will speak at the summit to finance the African economies about various African topics, as well as the necessity of the enhanced international efforts to support the African integration into the world economy and support the efforts to mitigate the aftermath of the coronavirus pandemic on the economies. Welcome back. You will be, of course, having exclusive coverage on the daily debate in the upcoming 2 days of the presidential activities. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Paris. But we'll be switching to the main topic for tonight. President al-Sisi and the political leadership supporting the youth, the young men and the young women of Egypt to be entrepreneurs with the SMEs, to be having small and medium enterprises, more and more of them in the country, to be boosting the economy in general. We'll be having more information about those initiatives in the upcoming report.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi directed formulating an integrated plan to develop local industrial sector, including the current industrial complexes across the country. The President remarks came during his meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Trade and Industry Naveen Gamea this month. He also ordered providing required inputs for local industries in order to reduce the cost of production and increase the local production, which will ensure increasing the diversity and competitiveness of the national economy and providing more job opportunities. The presidency spokesperson Bassem Radi said that President Sisi also reviewed plans of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency to support economic activity and various national initiatives. He directed the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency to promote entrepreneurship, creativity and innovation ideas among youth in order to provide new job opportunities. Moreover, GEMA presented the new Enterprise Development Law number 152 of 2020, which provides an unprecedented package of facilities to reconcile the status of informal industrial projects. The spokesperson explained that the meeting also dealt with efforts to activate the medium, small and micro enterprises platform.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and tonight I'm honored to be having with me in the studio Dr. Mohammed Gamal Kafafi, the advisor at the United Nations World Fund for Development and Planning and the president of the World Green Economy Council. Thank you very much, Doctor, for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Welcome.
First of all, we're speaking about the presidential activities of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi heading for France and participating in several summits for the development of Sudan and Africa. In general, those summits and those meetings will be happening in the upcoming couple of days. How do you see the activities of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to be boosting the Egyptian economy and the African economy, and more specifically, the neighboring countries?
Actually, when we're speaking about economy, the first or the locomotives of any economic development is market. We need to expand our market for improving or increasing the activities, the industry and agriculture. Then we have to expand the market.
Yes.
Focusing on the local market only will not sufficient to any economical development. We have to expand or integrate our market with Africa markets and also Middle East and all our other Europe also. This can be done at the presidential level.
Yes.
And then we can follow with local
one
government.
step and level
Exactly.
after the other. Yes.
Then I see this step, I'm recommending for this visit, inshallah, investigating the ability to increase activities or the integration at any level of microeconomy for market of Africa and Egypt. Especially booming, we have a good Africa market is very potential. Most people there are respecting us and seeing Egypt is one of the top countries in Africa region. They have a good reputation. It's very easy to exporting or these many products from Egypt to Africa.
Yes.
but actually we need our government to expand or to matching or to open or to remove barriers between these countries. This is this idea or this notion.
Yes.
Also the same for Middle East and Europe. For example, we will not reinvent the wheel. If we see the Morocco experiment for localization of cars, private cars, what happened? They successfully, within less than 7 years, now Morocco is the leading industrial or automotive industries in the region. The last
In the Middle
years-
East and North Africa.
Exactly,
Yes.
and also Africa and Europe. You can imagine they extracting or they taking the license of manufacturing brands. I will not say the brands for TV recommendation.
And we have the same potential of doing the same plan.
Here in
Yes.
Egypt, yes, I'm talking about. But
Yes.
if you learn, you can find. You can imagine they exporting about $10 billion per year from automotive industry only. Then we have many opportunities or economical development, but is not focusing on our nation. Our nation, I'm also talking, Egypt market is not potentially for industrial goods. We are consumable goods is good. For example, foods, accessories, many things can absorb it in the local market.
Yes.
But if we're talking about automotive industry, heavy industries, energy, well, not sufficient. We have to expand or to have integrated with region, Middle East and Africa. This is idea about this.
Yes, speaking not just about Africa during this summit or this visit by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to France, the bilateral ties themselves between Egypt and France, how do you see them under the leadership of President al-Sisi and his counterpart in France, President Emmanuel Macron, and more specifically the economy, as we did see today President al-Sisi receiving a number of heads of companies from France?
France representing European Union, we can say not only France, we are not focusing only on that, but France already is famous country in many industries.
Yes.
Many famous engineering industries. Bilateral agreement can create good opportunity to open market to Europe. For example, if we successfully exporting goods to France, it means can to distribute our goods in all the Europe. But always I'm talking about at governmental level only is not enough. Government or the leader, Mr. President, just knocks the doors or opens the channel. We have to go with a triangle of sustainable development. I'm always talking about the gold triangle, which content government, private sector, and non-governmental organization. This triangle should move towards the markets. Why I'm focused on the market? Market is a first step to economic development. Not many people imagine or expecting or saying money. I'm talking, no, money is not the big issue to create the economy.
Yes.
Material is not issue. Machine, no. Only two main pillars, market and demand, or human. Two M's can
To be
lead.
opening up new markets.
Exactly. I'm talking about opening new market.
Yes.
There is no way. We have to open new markets. Our local market will not sufficient to develop our industries, to create new jobs. We need minimum 2 million new jobs annually. Which market can expand this or can carry this? It's never local market is enough.
Yes.
When we talk about the economic development, I'm talking about two big issues, man and market. Market we are discussed and we can discuss later again. Man, what about our human
resources.
Human resource or human
Yes.
development? We have to, very important issue, the man who is create all things. For example, Japan not owning gold, not owning steel, not owning coal, having petrol. However, the biggest or one of the leading industrial country in the world. By what? By man.
Although they don't have the same capabilities of Egypt, for example.
Exactly. For example, Japanese importing all things and exporting all things. You can imagine they haven't any materials. They haven't steels. They haven't.
And still one of the biggest economies in the world.
Exactly. How? By man. Then, and also market. The brand made in Japan, all people dreams want Japan products. This is an image. Another thing is man. What about the man? The man, you have to develop people. Build people before building. We need to invest in people. We need qualified people for local market and for international. Because, by example, at the economy also, one of the aims of the economy is creating new jobs and improving standard of life. That's one of the aim of, or the main aim of the economy. How to improve standard of life without job? We need to create new jobs, local and international. By what? By education. Education and conversion training. Conversion training is very important. What's the meaning of the professional conversion training? Professional conversion training is a short program, 1 year, equivalent to graduate diploma after graduation. For what? We will collect, or we will train, train the people who had hold degrees not required in the market now. For example, bachelor in arts, bachelor in business, many degrees now in Egypt.
Yes.
Not required in the industry or any field.
And convert them to the field that I want.
Exactly.
That I need.
Convert exactly in the local market for the demand in the local labor market and for international labor markets. For example, European Union now has a shortage in the employees, in the labor.
Yes.
This is a good opportunity for us, and we are already have many people, many youth
skilled.
Then we have to improve their skills to export labor, not only exporting products.
Yes.
By the way, exporting people is very good opportunity, because these people, when working outside, will send us money in foreign currency, dollars, and so on in our banks. This is creating jobs international. This will
and
change.
They could be coming back to teach once again the experience and the expertise that they had in Europe.
Exactly. This is one of the strategies we have to focus when speaking about economic development or industrial development in Egypt. We have to do market and man. Again, why market and focus on market? Let us back again from about more than 45 years ago. We already produced car made in Egypt, brand Ramses, and they already we produced the bus named Nasr.
But don't you think that under President Al-Sisi, we are going back to the same mentality, to be building things here, to be exporting rather than importing?
There is no way. We have to because we have now we have a very big problem for trade balance. We have a very large gap between trade balance, but importing and exporting more than $60 billion annually. This is very large. We have to reduce. How to reduce this gap?
Between the imports and the exports.
Exactly. We have to reducing importing by localization and maximizing exporting, and not exporting group. If we see the trade balance, by the way, it's a very good question to get it notes.
Thank you.
Most countries, United States already has a gap in the trade balance. United States, as one of the largest or the top economy in the world, has a gap between trade balance. They importing more than exporting. But the issue here, what are they importing and exporting? You will find importing, most important goods are raw materials. Exporting final products, like weapons, like technology. Did you mean what I mean?
Yes.
It means they importing raw material with very low cost and huge, and exporting small raw materials with high price. Unfortunately,
Like the electronics.
Exactly, electronics and weapons. For example, United States, one of the highest or the biggest, or the leading countries in the weaving industry and weaving export. The issue, if we see our model in Egypt, you will find it completely opposite.
Yes.
You will find we are importing many goods, food, not all advanced industry,
Yes.
and unfortunately exporting raw materials, petroleum, gas, LNG, many sand. Can you imagine we are exporting sand, white sand or silicon sand? This sand is used in China and many countries to make electronic boards and so on. Then we have to restructure this model. Is a big issue. How to minimize importing and how to maximize exporting. To reduce the gap, 60 billion is not easy, $1 billion
Every year.
Annually, too much.
Yes, a minute ago we did see President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in a meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and the Minister of Trade and Industry, Naveen Gamar, to be developing a plan. President al-Sisi demanded an integrated plan to be developing the local industrial sector. How do you think this would be happening in the upcoming years?
It's working very good. Now, many industrial zones created, small funds awarding or offered to youth for making small and medium enterprises
Yes.
and the feeding industry. This is very good. We are talking, actually, it's a good plan. But I'm always focused. The issue is not establishing industries. The issue is not offering money. The big issue, how to distribute these goods. These goods can be distributed local market, not sufficient. We have to exporting. This is a big, I'm talking again about this.
Yes.
Then the government should support these small entrepreneurs how for distribution, not let him to face the wind by himself. They cannot compete because what happened? When we are producing local, any local product, for example, feeding industry or small products, we already have a global competition in Egypt. We have Chinese product, Turkish products, many products competing our local manufacturers.
Yes.
With very low price
And building factories here.
At least if we're not if we're not building,
Yes.
the price of importing, for example, I will talk actual example, LED lamp. Can you imagine the price of LED lamp totally completed from China, less cost about 25% from any LED lamp made in Egypt. Then the consumer, who will purchase?
The Chinese.
Sure.
But why do you
Same
think
quality.
this is the case? Why do you think this is the case?
This
Is
is
it
the
more
case because-
expensive to be building lamps and building factories or creating manufacturing
It's
lamps? I'm sorry.
Production batch. The manufacturer in Chinese, when producing lamps, minimum 1 million lamps per day. In Egypt, we are maximum producing 1,000 lamps per day. I will give you real example, for example, for cars.
Yes.
The largest company in Egypt, can you imagine producing maximum 45 to 50 50 cars per day. Totally about 1,500 cars per year
And that is the biggest factory in Egypt.
in Egypt. And however, percentage of localization or local components not exceeding 40%, 60% imported. Corresponding to another factory in Germany, for example, can you imagine this factory, one of the leading factories in the world, producing 3,000 cars per day. Not in the, sure, it's not pumped in the local market. It's distributed.
It's like 1%
globally.
of what they are producing.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the
But
power?
they depend on exporting those cars
Sure.
and this product.
With this company producing all over the world, then how you compete? How I can compete 1% with 99%. There's again, how these companies have a good market, strong channels. I am always talking to my students. I already a professor in engineering, College of Engineering, and always talking to my students. The big issue in Egypt is not engineering problems, it's market problems. How to attract customer, how to open markets. If you can open markets, you can distribute more, you can produce more, you can compete with price. But if producing small components, small size, I cannot compete. Why China dominate or compete? Because producing the highest country in the world for producing products.
Does this mean that we need more factories? Does this mean we need more skilled laborers?
Exactly. More factories, not spherically.
Yes.
More market. When you create more markets, all things will come.
But don't you think I need to be producing something before marketing it?
Sure. All products are known now. For example, solar energy. I took actually solar energy. For example, we already
and we have that in Egypt, in Aswan.
In Aswan,
everywhere, but in Aswan we have the biggest solar panel.
I'm talking about not importing panel. I'm talking about the panel producing panel. Why tell President we cannot produce panel? It's a good question. We have already. Why? Because we cannot sell or we cannot distribute more than 1 million panel per year. We need 1 billion panel per year to produce. How to produce what? Produce factory completely made in Egypt can produce panel from sand to final product. What is the issue? The issue is the market size. How I can produce, I can distribute these products. The big issue always, the big barrier, credibility of market, or credibility of our products, and market size. This is a rule of our government.
So I need to aim for the outside as well as the inside at the same time.
Exactly. We need support from the government, not only offering funds for entrepreneurs, not only giving him free factories or small factories, not enough. We have also support these factories to sustain and to survive, to open markets with government's deals, with bilateral agreement, as you said, with France, with Africa.
Yes.
We need these agreements to expand, to open our markets. I'm talking again, as a first discussion we discussed, we said, we see the Morocco experiment. Now, Morocco is one of the leading automotive industry in the region. How? If we return 10 years, Morocco hasn't any history about this industry.
From scratch.
However, Egypt, we have more than 45 experience in the manufacturing of cars and the buses. Until present, we cannot export one piece. What happened? There's the issue, always market. I'm always
but doctor, do you think that you've mentioned that money is not the problem? We have money to distribute. We have the
material
and the young men and the young women who want to be working and they have ideas. But do you think that the government should be or could be giving out ideas as well as the funding for the youth of Egypt to be? Yes, I'll give you the fund and I'll give you the idea.
Already, by the way, government now putting.
I need a factory in this region, in this field, to be serving the country and
also,
yourself.
Exactly. We need also investment plan or manufacturing plan for what is each region, the exact products required. And
yes,
yes, sure. And also you have a good license and good restriction. Not open any. We don't need to open any factory. No,
yes,
we need these types of factories now in this region.
I'm saying this, doctor, because we have a lot of people now, the youth, a lot of youth in Egypt. They are heading to the food industry, opening up restaurants and cafes, but this is not what we need now. We have a lot of this now.
This I'm talking from the first. You found that
Yes.
this is the issue. Why this?
I'll give you the money. I'll give you the idea.
Exactly.
I need your effort.
This is a question I want to apply. Why now we have a lot of restaurant and a lot of fast foods? Why? Because this products is consumable products, fast moving. We have 1 million people can absorb this type of product. But
yes,
for example, for automotive industry, maximum the market size not exceed more than 100,000 car per year. Then we cannot produce factory to produce the 100,000 car. How much? All types of car, not one model.
Yes.
For example, each model 10,000.
The total.
Exactly.
Yes.
But in food and also in drugs.
It's like an easy way for the entrepreneurs here in Egypt. That's an easy idea.
Exactly. But in critical products like weapons, like solar energy, like air conditioning, cars, is a market of Egypt will not sufficient. We have to expand. But if we talk about medicine, or I talk about any type of foods, it's easily, will successfully done. Why? Because our 100 million people absorb this market. We have a lot of size in the food, in the medicine, and so on. This is a big issue, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But when we talk about the strategic products, no, we're not enough.
Speaking of the strategic products and the manufacturing of important fields here in the country, President Al-Sisi also spoke about developing the existing industrial complexes, not just about building new ones. The importance of developing, renovating the things that we already have. How do you see the importance of such a step?
It's a very good steps to renovating the old industries and the expanding and developing existing, because already we have a long, by the way, Egypt entering the industrial revolution from President Abdel Nasser. We have more than 6 years in the experience in the industry. We have a lot of factories, but unfortunately what happened, these factories failed because they were not developed the products about market demand. Again, return the point of market. Always is a big issue. How to attract the customer, how to develop product to meet market. When we talk about market, not existing market only, current needs and the future needs. For example, I'm always talking, if I want, it's very easy to manufacturing mobile phone. Why not to produce mobile phone? It's very easy. I have the technology. I can import technology. I can produce in the Egypt. But what happened? Who will purchase? How many mobile I will distribute in Egypt and outside? If I have this answer, automatically, the big issue, chicken or egg, is a key issue. Create market or create industry. I'm believing, create market, industry will come.
Yes.
Not vice versa. Not create market.
I'll see the market, what it needs, and I'll do what it needs.
Exactly. Not create industry and try to find the market. This is the old story.
That could be losing money and losing effort and losing time.
And pushing. Now you know. Now the new trend in the world from push to pull. Creating a market, industry will come, investor will come. This is a big issue. We have to this is very important recommendation to our government and leadership. Not try to create industry and push products. No, this is obsolete. This is an obsolete concept. Now, vice versa. And so have to create market. How just we find market, the investor will come. For example, let us talk actually what happened.
Yes.
We have a long story about rubbish, waste.
Yes.
It's very easy. Create waste market. How to create waste market? For example, waste to energy.
Through recycling?
Waste to energy. Now with new technology available everywhere, collecting waste, solid waste from homes or from sewage, and they can convert this waste to energy and used for heating and lighting and electricity and so on.
Yes.
Okay? What is the issue? Why what? If the government announced, I will purchase kilowatt hour from waste, for example, 1 Egyptian pound, automatically tomorrow, many investors will come rapidly, collect, establish factories or establish power stations working from or using waste to produce energy. What happened? This is very
An incentive.
Exactly, creating a market, creating waste market. Make a market, make a waste value. You will find completely within 2 or 3 years, you will never find any waste in the road or any waste in the storage and so on.
And it will be turned or converted into electricity and gaining money for the people who do it.
Did you want I mean?
Yes.
Then this is a big issue. Create market and the investor will come. Not the opposite. Not give me money, not give me benefits, give me free land. And when, by the way, these are very old trials and they failed before.
Yes.
Many small industry creating intensive from and so on. And what happened? These small industries cannot distribute their products.
On the other hand, as we can see now on the screen, those images, this footage, of course, of the factories that were inaugurated under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the space of 6 or 7 years under his tenure. How do you see the progress in this field, the industrial sector?
Many industrial sector improved in this period. They supported many industrial sector. New zones, industrial zones, they opened. Dumyat and Tens.
In different parts of the country as well, not just concentrated in Cairo or Alexandria.
Sure. Many industrial zones established and opened. And also, by the way, expansion in the infrastructure, in the new cities.
The roads.
Exactly. This
constructing new roads.
All this good achievement. However, we also still, we still have more opportunity.
Do you think those steps could be leading to opening up new markets outside of Egypt?
Sure. Will enhance, but not only this way. This is a good, infrastructure. Enhance our market.
Steps in the right direction.
Exactly. Sure, with no doubt.
Yes.
We are moving in the right direction. And also we still have good opportunity to move towards. But we have to focus in the next step about this idea. How to attract investors. Investors will coming with creating markets. I have a bad example for this issue. The largest countries producing weapons in the world, what they are doing, they should create conflicts in the other nations. Why?
To create a market.
Create market
for the product.
For their products.
Yes.
Many people, by the way, without names, the largest countries producing weapons is anti-peace, is not peace. Sure, no. They claiming they are peace, but actually no. They never need peace. Why? Peace means products, weapons will die. Creating markets by creating conflicts, these countries purchase $1 billion of weapons. This is a concept all over the world. This is the issue.
And in Egypt, we are, of course, pro-peace. In Egypt, in Africa, and in the world. We'll be having a report about the efforts of the political leadership under President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to be opening up new markets inside of Egypt for the young men and the young women of the country to be entrepreneurs and the SMEs in the country. And of course, this will be leading to a bigger economy and opening up, as Dr. Mohammed Gamal Kafafi said, will be opening up new markets outside of the country. All information and more about that in the upcoming report.
The government has laid out a strategy to improve people's quality of life in cities and the countryside based on introducing mechanisms to support small and medium-sized enterprises. The head of the Central Sector for Community and Human Development at the Egyptian Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development Agency, the MSMEDA, that the projects to make infrastructure such as drinking water, sewage networks and paved roads available in impoverished areas are meant to provide young people with the opportunity to set up or expand small enterprises. The infrastructure projects can generate thousands of job opportunities for casual workers, being often carried out using labor-intensive methods that rely on unskilled and semi-skilled workers instead of machines and equipment. Between 2014 and 2020, the Ministry of International Cooperation and international donor agencies also coordinated to deliver funds to support SMEs. The World Bank and European Union provided $200 million and 70 million euros respectively to finance projects in 20 governorates identified according to Egypt's poverty map and focusing on Upper Egypt. The French Development Agency focused on shanty towns in Cairo and Giza, providing funds worth 15 million euros, while the European Investment Bank opted for various locations, giving 15 million euros to support existing projects in Asyut, Giza, Port Said, Munofia, Alexandria, and Sharqiya. Some of the funds Egypt received from international donor agencies to support SMEs were targeted at helping Syrian refugees. The UN Development Programme and the Kuwaiti government jointly gave $500,000 to be dispersed in the governorates of Munofia, Alexandria, and Sharqiya with a view to meeting needs of communities hosting Syrian refugees. The goals of the Egyptian government and the European Union are very similar regarding illegal migration. Over the past 6 years, Egypt has been coordinating with international donor agencies to focus on societies exporting illegal migrants by providing them with job opportunities in their countries of origin. International donor agencies have contributed to funding 649 agreements worth a total of £2.3 billion over the past 6 years.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and tonight I'm honored to be having with me in the studio Dr. Mohammed Gamal Kafafi, the advisor at the UN's World Fund for Development and Planning and the president of the World Green Economy Council. We did see in the past report the Egyptian efforts to be forging international partnerships to be financing and supporting the small and medium enterprises in the country. How do you see those efforts, and more specifically in parts away from the capital, away from the big cities and the Alexandria, the Cairos of Egypt? How do you see the cities like Munofia, governorates like Munofia, Daqahliya, other governorates that need to be renovated and developed?
With no doubt, government made many efforts in the last times for developing standard of life, improving, as we said, infrastructure, roads and lighting. By the way, now electricity covering all over the world. Still water is not covering, but a good percent. Sewage system. But also we have to focus about two extra things, not only in the renovation of building, as I said,
yes.
We have to build people before building, or at least parallel. It's a very good, sure, to improve the infrastructure, the building, but also
the identity, the mentality of the people.
Exactly, by improving education and jobs. We have to focus about this, because to improve the life of people by creating jobs, and good jobs, not only any jobs, just what we said, green jobs. What's the meaning of green jobs? Green jobs means jobs giving people good life and healthy life. It's not good to create jobs, for example, after years, make illness or disease for people. We have to focus on respecting the environmental dimension for jobs by investing in the green industries, green products. These new industries, or the named, I'm also green industry is not foods.
Yes.
Green industries means any goods meets the customer requirements or meets the needs of life, and respecting
friendly for the environment,
saving or improving efficiency of resources. By the way, we have a very big problem now. It names economic efficiency.
Yes.
By the way, nobody talking about this. I'm talking this good opportunity to say we have a big problem with economic efficiency. Our economic efficiency, or in the region, less than economic efficiency of the average world by 50%. What does it mean to be specific? For example, 1 kilogram of material used in our country producing $0.5 in the gross domestic product. However, the average world, 1 kilogram of material producing $1 in GDP, gross domestic. Can you imagine? Then we have a big problem. Our
So we need 4 times of
efficiency,
the effort.
Exactly, half times. Why? Old appliances, wasting many time, lost or have a waste in many things, in the water, in energy, in roads. Did you know? Then we have to move in the all ways.
Yes.
Developing people, infrastructure is very important, but also improving energy
Yes.
efficiency. Not only, I'm not talking about supply energy, supplies, no. When supplying energy, supplying high efficient, producing high efficient equipment, using high efficient equipment. For example, monorail. Monorail is a good project.
Yes.
I'm supporting any electrical transportation is excellent in the new era. It should be all Alexandria trains, Cairo, all trains should be
converted.
Convert to electric.
Yes.
This saving $1 billion. All cars.
And the cars and vehicles, yes.
Cars, buses should convert to electric. This is a very huge project. Will it change the map of Egypt, and not Egypt only, in the region, by producing these factories to produce or to renovate these goods and services, saving energy, in creating jobs, maximizing economic efficiency. We have one stone killing four birds, not one bird.
Yes.
This should be strategy working in the next time, not focusing only in the creating. It's a good, by the way, but we have not put all eggs in one bag.
Yes.
We are not focusing all efforts. Road construction and building is not efficient. It's very good, but it's not efficient. In parallel, focusing on energy efficiency or resource efficiency. By the way, you can imagine, we have 40% opportunity of saving water. While we have a good problem in water now, and can you imagine? Same in energy, we have a 40% opportunity to save 40% of energy. We have a good opportunities to producing same output with 40% saving in the input. In energy, in water, in food, we have a lot of food. You can imagine more than 30 or 40% of waste in agriculture or foods due to using all the equipment, all the storage system, all the handling. We are losing 40% in the food, in the supply chain of food. Can you imagine? We are a lot of wastes. We have to focus on this waste. Waste in time, waste in energy, waste in food, waste in water, waste in material. All these wastes can be removed in the next years, creating jobs, new technology, saving time, and also improving economic efficiency.
Yes.
Did you know?
All of those resources could be used within the country, and as you mentioned during the episode, opening up new markets for the exporting. Dr. Mohammed Gamal Kafafi, the advisor at the UN's World Fund for Development and Planning, and the president of the World Green Economy Council. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Anytime. And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.